Hi everyone, this is MVic recording one of the newer features for the COD YouTube together with Big Lighthouse. What we're going to be doing is commentary as well as a review on one of the recent events or some of the recent news. And in the first edition of this new sort of show, we're going to be covering the recent IEM, which was IEM Kiev. Obviously this was the fourth IEM in a series of 5 qualifiers. You can qualify yourself for the World Championships, which are going to be in Hanover in March, which we're going to be probably covering on site. And even though they're only qualifiers, they're still pretty beefy events. The world's best obviously attend because everyone wants to be at the World Championships, and they offer pretty nice prize pools. This time around it was $21,000 for Starcraft II alone, and I think about $60,000 for the entire event. Some of the top players that were there taking first place and $6,500 of pocket change is the Korean MMA, who is obviously one of the better Koreans around. For foreigners did pretty good as well. We saw MTW, Dimaga, and Empire Kas taking second and third, probably some sort of home soil advantage there, and Zenio taking fourth. But that was not all. I mean, there was a lot of the world's top there. Grubby attending, Hasselobs, Titan, Hero, so it was definitely a really good LAN event to look out for. What we're going to be talking about is some of the ups, some of the downs of the event, and in the end we're going to be watching one of the ace matches, which is going to be Kas versus Zenio on Shattered Temple, the decider for who would take third place and who would take fourth place. First of all, what we're going to start off is we're going to start at the bottom, which is the lag that this event was really pestered by. Graham, what was your opinion on it?
Well, the lag was bad, and I think that's always the case with any gaming event. You can never have good lag, really, can you? In this case, it was particularly bad. It kind of dominated the first day of play, which made groups A and B interesting, but not in the way you really want them to be. Obviously, I think most people listening will be aware of the Naniwa drama, but I guess we should rehash what happened just so everyone's totally on the same page.
Definitely.
So, basically, Naniwa was in Group A with Whiterah, Straylock, and Titan, and his first game was against Straylock, who, well, let's just say they had quite a few lag issues. Naniwa was expected to come out first in the game with Straylock, but Straylock managed to overpower him, largely due to lag, but Straylock was lagging too, so you probably shouldn't read into that too much. But Naniwa, he just started flipping tables. He was not happy with that and basically stomped out, had a little hissy fit, and decided he was going to forfeit the whole tournament. I mean, luckily it didn't end there. They managed to calm him down, and he finished out playing the group and came first, so I guess he was quite happy he stayed. But yeah, he was not impressed.
I mean, it was a bit of a superstar, maybe sort of attitude by Naniwa. Everyone had lag, and everyone had to deal with it in a different way, and Starcraft II being the game it is, everyone knows manner is one of the bigger issues. I mean, if you look at Idra's stream, he says, well, this guy is bad, or this guy is bad, and that makes it to YouTube with like a load of views and people saying that it's bad manner. Any other game, there's so much banter and so much like hating going on each other, it wouldn't be a big deal, but Starcraft II, those things are seen as big deals. A pro brush in a game that really did not matter anymore cost Naniwa the GSL Code S spot, which is the biggest league there is if you're a Starcraft player. So doing this really did not add to his reputation already. I mean, it's costing him not only fans, but I mean, it's gonna cost, people see him as a bad player just because his behavior is bad, when he really is one of the best, if not the best foreigner out there. If you saw him play at MLG Providence, it was unreal. He was in a different league as Protoss, and I guess he shouldn't have handled it the way he did, because there was different ways to go to handle it.
Yeah, I mean, if I could just say, I think as much as it's easy to say, coming from another gaming background, like, oh my god, why are you guys taking this Naniwa thing so seriously? I mean, I'm tempted to agree, actually, but I think the case with StarCraft II is that this is not just going to be costing Naniwa fans soon if he keeps it up, it's going to start costing him tournament invitations. and perhaps even team backing, because nobody wants to deal with someone who's obnoxious, and it could actually be really bad for his career, full stop, I think. So he needs to have a bit of introspection and think about what he's doing, start walking down a different path.
Exactly. The fact that he's performing well is the only reason you could say that he's really still around. If you look at Major, or Windy as he's called right now, he was known for bad manner and he just got cut off his team, full stop, because of it. So I mean, he's on thin ice right now. If he keeps doing this, he might, like you say, really jeopardize his own career.
I think, yeah, he needs to perhaps handle it more like Nightend did.
Exactly.
In Group B.
Nightend, who...
I mean, do you want to tell everyone what happened there?
Yeah, Nightend, who lost his game as well. Instead of going out on a rage, really, took it to the admins, just like Grubby did. And he was actually awarded a regame. So there is definitely other ways. You could just say, you know, it was okay. Both players had lag. I came out the winner, and he came out the loser, and we're both fine with that. Or you could just take it to the admins. And Nightend is a really mannered guy. Everyone loves him, although he has a really creepy voice. And I mean, he did get himself the rematch. Although I think it wasn't entirely fair, was it?
No. He spoke out about that in an interview actually with Thorin from SK Gaming. Basically, they initially awarded him the regame at the end of the day's play, and they said, okay, it'll either be a best of 1 or a best of 3, but Zenio is going to be deciding that because he's kind of been caught up in all this through no fault of his own, and we need to give him some kind of an advantage. He goes home, he's happy with that, he's prepared to come back in the morning and play Zenio from square one, but in the meantime, you have Team Liquid's player managers contacting ESL, and basically they decided that, well, they persuaded the IEM admins that it would be unfair for them to do that because Zenio had finished the game up and won it. So they made it an extended series. It was a best of 5, I believe, and they gave Zenio a 2-1 head start, and Nightend wasn't impressed with that, but he played it out anyway, so good sport on him, I guess. Really
good sportsmanship there, even if you don't agree with it, to just play it out. Although he doesn't really have anything to say, I don't think. I don't think the admins would have listened to him, but they definitely could have handled that better. Like, for example, giving Zenio the first map pick or something like that, instead of making it an extended series of a series that they really declared non-viable at first. It doesn't really make any sense. But let's get...
Yeah, could I just ask...
Right, go on.
Before we move on, I just want to ask, because a lot of people have, in forums have been saying that they're not impressed with the way Team Liquid, like, bullying around the admins. Do you think there's anything to that, or do you think they were just doing their job as a team?
I think IEM has their own set of capable admins. It's their fourth edition of the IEM, which in this season, which feature SC2. They had SC2 in the last season. I don't think Team Liquid should be impartial in this if they're really going to go for professionalism, because right now they gave Zenio an advantage without Nightend actually even being there. So I guess it would have been better sportsmanship on them if they would have let the admins decide, or at least give Nightend a notification of what happened. But I mean, what happened happened, and definitely the result could have gone to anyone. So I mean, you can keep sort of discussing how it could have involved the eventual outcome of this game, but in the end, I guess Zenio sort of deserved it. He played really well the entire event, and even if we would have started from scratch, I'm not sure if Nightend would have been able to keep it. So that is that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think I agree with you actually. Yeah, I mean you've got to put it down to the admins for the final decision, and it's their bad if they're influenced by someone trying to help out their player.
Exactly. Let's get into the more positive stuff, as far as you can call it positive for us foreigners, which is pretty much MMA doing what it does best, is killing people right out on Starcraft II. I mean, he's seen as one of the top 5 Koreans maybe right now. He's a really strong Terran, and he proved that once again on this event, taking home first place. I mean, what do you have to say about his performance?
It was expected and it was fantastic. I don't know if you saw the game against Feast, which was his round of 8 game. But Feast played out of his mind good, but MMA just shut him down. And that was just the story of the whole event. You just couldn't touch this guy. He was on another level.
Definitely, definitely. There was no surprise there either. I mean, everyone was like, yep, MMA is going to take this pocket change, go back to Korea and laugh his ass off right now. The only people that could have done it, which would have been major upsets, perhaps Naniwa, but I mean, everyone that saw his first game pretty much knew from the start that if he would have started losing again, that would have been it. His mindset was just totally off. And otherwise it would have been a huge upset. Someone like Hero, someone like Kas, Dimaga or Zenio, but realistically, I don't know, that the chances that that was going to happen was really small, so...
yeah, I mean, do you know, MMA has won $140,000 so far playing StarCraft 2.
And he's not even, like, one of the big winners, is he?
No, I mean MVP's leading the table with 255,000.
That's in 2 years or 1.5 years of StarCraft now, man. It's
yeah, that's pretty obscene.
Honestly, we should all just start playing StarCraft. It's better than better than working. But
it's better than paying for university, definitely.
definitely. About that, let's get into the people that perhaps underperformed a little bit. People that were really into the underdogs were saying Titan as perhaps one of the bigger players in this event, but he really just did not perform. He went 0-3. Did you see him play? What do you think about his play style?
Well, I didn't see game 1, day 1 even, so I missed all of Titan's games, but I have to say I was one of those StarCraft II hipsters who was backing Titan to go all the way. So I was pretty disappointed that he bombed out. I mean, he only took one map off someone. I think that was, what did he do? No, White Ra. He went 2-1 against White Ra and then didn't win any maps at all. So really disappointed.
Yeah, especially seeing as he has been, and I'm not sure if he still is, the #1 ladder player in Europe, which is quite impressive on its own, but he might just, you know, it might just be nerves, it might just be his group, because his group wasn't that easy either, but I mean, no group was really easy, so I guess you could counter out that argument. End of the day, his performance online compared to what he did on this event just really wasn't up to par, and perhaps he's like the new Nurchio or the new Cast, who is, you know, struggling at his first event, but as soon as he gets more experience, perhaps he's going to pick up. Who knows? If he keeps practicing, then he might, well, you know?
Well, he did really well at World Cyber Games, didn't he? I think he topped forward at World Cyber Games. Wasn't he the guy who beat Supernova or something crazy like that?
It might have been, but in the end, that World Cyber Games for StarCraft II really was a laugh, wasn't it? I mean, MVP took the first place, and then behind that were a lot of sub-top players, but there wasn't. I would argue that this IEM Kiev lineup was better than the WCG lineup that we saw. Yeah,
really?
I think I would.
You think that? Well, I don't know. I'm gonna call you on this because I'm finding Titan's run through World Cyber Games. He went through Killer, the Chilean Dignitas guy, not the Korean one. He beat Idra. He also went through Supernova, Kiwi Kaki, and he only lost to the Chinese guy Zhigua.
Okay.
So I think he had a really good run in World Cyber Games. I don't think you should play him down.
Okay, no, I agree with you then, seeing his run. I mean, I'm not quite sure why this event didn't work out for him then. I mean, if that World Cyber Games was, it might have been like a one-off, but saying that path that he took through Idra and Supernova, then yeah, I might have to come back on that opinion actually. About right.
I think it's the curse of the prediction that's done it. Actually, that is my fault. I blame myself.
No, it's it's cool. Getting through on another player which really well is being hyped sort of lately as one of the up-and-comer Protoss is Hasuobs, one of the really Warcraft 3 greats of Europe. I think he took like so many EPSs in a row. I think it was 4 or 5 EPSs in a row for Warcraft 3. So he's a really good RTS player. But like most Warcraft 3 pros, Moon, Grubby, he is really struggling to get through to the top of the scene. He's getting, you know, recognition, and he's getting decent wins, but as far as it comes to consistently playing well, he is one of those players that is really up and down, and this event proved that for him. I think he went 0-3 in his group well, which I'm not quite sure who was in his group.
He had a pretty weak group, actually. I mean, he had MMA. Okay, granted, you're going to lose to MMA. We can understand that. But he also had Homie and Targa, who, I mean, they're not bad players, but then they shouldn't be on the level that Hasselhoff wants to be playing at. He should be pretty disappointed with himself for losing to those two guys.
Yeah, I definitely put him in my list of top 8, but, I mean, it might have just been the lag as well. I mean, the lag makes it really hard, because people handle it differently. Even though they won't show, you know that certain people play more on the Korean server or on the American server and get used to playing with a little bit of lag. And I'm not quite sure to what extent, you know, people like Titan, people like Hasselhoff actually, you know, have experience with that. But saying that, having Targi and Pomi in your group, did he take one map, or was it?
Well, he actually managed to get a map off MMA, which was
I saw that series.
Really impressive.
It was a really nice series, actually. MMA actually had to bring that back. Hasselhoff's was, I think it was 0-1 to him, and then in the second game, he was out-teching him, and he won the first engagement, and then MMA just really picked up and really started beating him in minor fights, and in the third game he really got busted out. But he was actually quite close to taking that series, so that's quite a surprise. But I mean, for the rest, against Targa and Pomi, I don't think he played to the level that he should have.
Yeah, I mean, he's been disappointing quite a lot recently as well. I mean, he went 0-3 in the Home Story Cup recently, and we were mentioning EPS for Warcraft 3. He didn't manage to make the recent offline finals for the most recent Starcraft II EPS, which I find really surprising. He couldn't even get like top 4 in Germany.
Although Germany has like with Soke, they have a really good Protoss, and Dark Force is really stepping it up lately as well. So it depends on his path, I guess, a little bit. But
I'm pretty sure Dark Force didn't make it either. Let me just find it, because it was really quite interesting to see who made it there.
I mean, EPS Germany is, you wouldn't say, you don't really hear a lot about it, but it is one of the bigger tournaments, especially in Germany. Obviously, everyone knows the story between EPS and Germany and how they love each other. So I would have to say though that Soke has been on a roll for EPS. I think he took it 3 seasons in a row now.
Yeah, the last 3. But yeah, Hasselhoff's group for EPS, because they do it by groups now, don't they? He couldn't progress. He couldn't get top 2 in a group with Akis, Kara, and Farmer. Have you heard of any of those players? Actually, I've heard of one of them,
but that's just by pure luck, really. So that's...
You're more knowledgeable than me then. But he couldn't. He went 3rd in that group, 3-3. That's crazy.
That is really disappointing, and I'm not quite sure because he had a really good run on the NESL LAN. So I don't know. Fact is that he has been disappointing lately. So if you're gonna look for someone's stream, please don't look at his, because you're probably not going to learn too much. Let's have some more fun. Let's go into a hero who is a character of his own. Really, I mean, he played so well. He was one of the big up-and-comer Koreans, both online and offline. If you look at his stream, he does some amazing stuff from times to times, and he won DreamHack. He came 2nd at NESL. Both were finals Puma versus Hero, which was really entertaining as well. And this event, he just really could not get it going, man. What do you have to say for him?
I feel really bad for him. I mean, it's on a more personal level. Did you see his Twitter message that he posted after going out?
He said he lost all confidence or something like that. It was just sad to see, because he's such a likable person, isn't he? You want to cuddle him and everything, and I mean,
and the way he plays, it just sucks you into the game. Like, if I wanted to get someone I didn't know into StarCraft, it would definitely be a hero game. Because he is just doing so much everywhere. He has, like, warp prisms here, freaking hidden pylons over there. He's mental. And the fact that he didn't progress from the group just blew me away. He was, like, a surefire
Yeah,
for
I
me.
mean, I'm not quite sure. And what I really liked is that Huck retweeted him and, like, got his confidence back and everything, but for a player like StarCraft 2, when you're at the level that Hero is and that Huck is, then it's not so much anymore. It's like Source. I mean, it's all about confidence. When you feel like you can get away with it, you really feel like you can get away with it, usually you can get away with it if you just do it. And Hero, if you start, you know, maybe doubting your play, start doubting your tech paths, and maybe playing a little bit apprehensive, then that is really going to influence your game. So if he is going to be a dominant force in StarCraft 2 and play the level that he once played, he really needs to get his act together, man. I really hope he does, though, because he's a greatly entertaining player and really one of the better Protoss out there.
Yeah, I mean, he only went out by inches, to be fair to the guy, but did you see
I'm
the
afraid
game
not.
with Feast? It was a PvP, so I always like them because
Action-packed.
they're pretty exciting, even though they're a bit random. But basically, in the first game, which is, I mean, if Hero had won that, he'd have gone through instead of Feast. Feast managed to hold off Hero's 4 gate with only 1 gateway, which must have just felt gutting for Hero when he probably watched back the replay and realized what happened. Because he had a sentry just constantly just force fielding
That's one of his strongest plays, isn't it? The War Prism drop with the sentry, force fielding off the ramp and then just destroying someone's main. He does that so well. Honestly, though, you gotta give some credit to Feast as well, because all due respect, although Hero is a really good player, Feast, in my opinion, did really deserve to go through, and from what I've heard, his series with MMA, he really did play really well. So I think he kind of deserved it. I mean, Hero should have taken a convincing win, although Feast is like some sort of dark horse, really. No one really knows him, but I know for a fact he can play really well. And, I mean, props to him for pulling it off in the end.
Yeah, he was the real success story of this event, because I think Intel Extreme Masters have a huge qualification process. There's no invites apart from the Korean players, and it's tiered as well, so it depends how well you've done. And he had to go right through from like the bottom rung, I think, is winning a Benelux qualifier or something like that. Yeah, he had to go right from there, and he had to go through 3 different stages of qualifier just to get to this event that most of the players were just like 3 or 4 game victories away from. So he had a really crazy run to even get there, and to get through to the quarterfinals is a really big deal for him. He's definitely made a name for himself.
To watch, and perhaps next to Grubby and Rhett, maybe some sort of Benelux hope, like you guys from the United Kingdom are gonna need in Bling, because it's pretty bleak down there as well if we're gonna look at the amount of pros that make an influence in the scene. So, I mean, perhaps one of the new up-and-comers we're gonna have to see. One of the sort of confirmed up-and-comers to start getting to the conclusion of the review of the event would have to be Kas, man. I mean, he played really well. He ended 3rd, no spoilers intended. So, I mean, what do you have to say for his play? You think he's sort of shed off the onliner tag that he had and started moving into the top tier of SC2?
Yeah, it was pretty good for a guy with a broken leg. He was firing on all cylinders.
Definitely. He played really well versus Zenio as well in the 3rd place match. But overall, I mean, he was just an impressive player. You sometimes see people like Nurchio getting like weird losses, but seeing Kas's path, he really just won what he actually had to win and took himself 3rd place, which I think he really deserved. We're gonna watch a replay from him in a second as well, but let's talk about the rest of his path first before we get into the replay. His group, who was in that group, Graham?
In Kas's group, there was Zenio, Nightend, and Grubby. So by no means an easy group to get through. And he went through first as well. He managed to beat out
Exactly.
Zenio.
I mean, that says it on its own. And then he obviously got through to the semifinals, in which he lost against Dimaga, which is no shame at all, because Dimaga, I think he played really well at the Home Story Cup as well. So, I mean,
yeah, that series was crazy. If you haven't seen it, go watch that series when they get the VoDs.
yeah, no shame in losing to him. And then playing against one of the up-and-coming Koreans in Zenio. I mean, that's just pretty much a crown to the amount of time that he's put in, because he is really one of the hardest working foreigners out there right now, I think.
Yeah, he's a complete ladder monster, isn't he? He's on there all day long, just laddering.
You ready to get into this replay then, Graham? Alright,
yes,
so
I am
without
ready
any
to
further
rumble,
ado, let's start looking. In the north, we have Empire's Kas, who is obviously playing Terran in a matchup on the Shattered Temple versus Liquid Zenio, who is playing Zerg to the right of him, which is a close by air matchup.
Yeah, this was
it was the ace game as well, so the series was 2-2, and this is the decider game who's going to take third and who's going to take who's going to take fourth. So, I mean, there was quite a lot of money on the line, perhaps also quite a lot of pride, but even more important, quite a lot of points towards qualifying for the World Championship. I mean, the person who ends up third here pretty much is sure of progressing to the World Championships, where there's, I think, about $300,000 in total on the line. So, I mean, definitely something that is important, and that's in these players' minds as well. So, I mean, surely they must be nervous.
I mean, definitely. I mean, I think this is both of these players' last chance to get any qualification points, because the Sao Paulo qualifiers have already been played out, and I don't think either of these guys managed to make it through. So this was like last chance saloon.
Exactly.
Are you going or are you not?
A lot of stuff on the line. As we see a proxy barracks going up, or well, it's slightly proxied. I mean, I don't think Kas already knows where Zenio is, so he must have just took the gamble and put the barracks there. Whereas Zenio has already scouted him, which is actually an indicator for Kas to know where Zenio is. So perhaps he will know where Zenio is because of that Overlord scout. He's also taking his...
Although, I don't know. I think this is really smart by Kas, even if it's not next to the right base, because Zenio is going to go into Kas's main base with that Overlord, as you see. He's going to be shitting himself thinking, where the fuck is Kas's barracks? He doesn't know if it's on his doorstep or not. I think Zenio's having heart palpitations right now.
He's putting up a hatchery as well, which means he's going macro mode, which might be quite scary if Kas ends up getting a good amount of Marines, and seeing as he's taking gas as well, perhaps Marauders or Hellions out. He's also getting his orbital command now, which means mules, which means scans, so he is definitely not going, well, he's quite likely not going for an all-in.
Yeah, I mean, Kas isn't the type of player who's been all-inning. Certainly not in this
ace
tournament.
match.
I think in a lot of the events before, I mean, he went up to about 3 command centers in about 5 minutes in most of the games I saw that event, so we'll have to see if he continues that trend today.
About to finish for Zenio, which means that he is going to have something to handle this early aggression, which is quite likely to come out. We see he is training some Marines.
Yeah, there's a factory going up now, so we'll have to see. Maybe he'll
That's
get
right,
Hellions
factory going up
something.
in the wall, so perhaps he's going to reactor that and get himself Hellions. I mean, there's 2 Queens coming up, 2 Zerglings. There's already 2 Zerglings out, so he is probably, or most likely, going to be fine trying to defend this. There is a bunker going up, though. It is a pretty weird placement from the bunker, because he's well out of range of the hatchery, which means that the bunker is not really going to be well to contain or put on a lot of early game pressure. You see Spinecrawler going up for Zenio, which he's probably going to be able to move towards the bunker as well. So, I mean, this should be cleared up by Zenio relatively easily.
Yeah, I don't think Kas is going to mind though. I mean, he's throwing up that command center right behind this, so I think this is just a maybe force Zenio into, well, try and make him not over drone. Well, I say
Zenio is
try not to get too many drones.
Speedlings now, so and there the bunkers are gonna get salvaged. So indeed, it was just to put off Zenio into perhaps droning a lot. And Kas is putting up a defensive bunker now, so he's definitely going for the macro game. He's got a Hellion into Zenio's base now, but it's not blue flame, so he gets one drone. It's two drones. But that's pretty much it. I mean, he's not gonna get anything else with that. He's got another Hellion out, but he's not doing anything with that. And there comes the switch into reactor, the factory. So perhaps some more Hellions coming up.
Yeah. Zenio's slowing down on Roach-1 as well. I'd imagine he's probably sick of dealing with Hellions with Speedlings by now, because it's a real pain in the ass to try and get them with Speedlings, because they just get set on fire so easily.
Although if you get a surround off with Speedlings, then it's pretty good. But I mean, it's all about having the little bit of luck that Kas is going to miss micro, and knowing Kas, the likelihood of that happening is quite small. In the meantime, though, we're seeing that Kas, because of this opening, which he does quite a lot in the event, is taking a little bit of a macro deficit. He is taking more SCVs now, but he was down about 20 SCVs to 35 drones. He's getting mules out though, and he's just got his second orbital up, so that means more mules, more scans. You see some drone kills by Kas, but nothing really too major. And he sees the roaches now, so he knows what's up.
Yeah, and Zenio is being really smart. He's getting 7 drones right behind this, so he's really still pumping out the economy. And I think he's going to need to, because Kas is working off 2 orbital commands, and mules are pretty damn good.
Defensive bunkers going up now, Stim's being researched. All the while, there's a macro hatch going up, I think. Is it a macro hatch for... oh no, he's getting lair. Sorry, Zenio's getting lair now, so he is going to start teching soon off his macro, but... I mean, the most important thing right now is that when either of these players is going to move. Kas is really going turtle mode. He's getting a supply depot wall. He's getting bunkers up. He's like poking around with his Hellions, but he's not really doing too much with them.
That was good. He just managed to pick off a drone with that, with those Hellions. I guess he was probably. I guess Zenio was thinking to take a hidden third expand.
I actually spot that. That is pretty big though, because now he knows that Zenio is going to look to go for a third, so he knows sort of what he's up to.
Yeah, and even if he can't stop it next time, he's at least delayed it by a good minute now already,
exactly.
Which is great.
Also seeing as he's getting a third command center now, building in his base, so...
Oh, he's dropping in Zenio's.
He's falling back to his. Yeah, that he's going to live actually.
Wow, that's
pretty lucky for him.
I just put a medevac a command center. Wow. I'm really on top of my game today.
Let's see. I mean, there's a lot of upgrades coming up now for Zenio, as well as a Baneling nest. So that might change the whole dynamic of this game.
He's getting ventral sacks and overlord speed,
that's
so
likely,
maybe he's going for some drop play pretty soon. That could be interesting. Because Kas's bunkers are obviously in the front of his
Zenio just
base,
took a
so
hit and third, like you said, but Kas is on top of this game. He's moving out with Marines, and with the medevac, he's gonna run straight into it, and he's gonna force the cancel if Zenio does pay attention. If not, he's gonna... Yeah,
he's got speedlings coming. Let's see if he can get Kas.
Here come the speedlings, and he's probably just going to pick up and get out of there. Yep, brilliant play by Kas, who's getting a second drop now in the top of Zenio's base, killing even more workers.
That is great positioning as well. Look, there's the.
He's already got 10 workers killed now. Incoming overlords with overlord speed, so he does see that there's overlord speed coming now, and the drop just does not die. Yeah, there comes
medevac's pretty good too.
They force him to go back, but I mean, damage has been dealt, and 10 workers is quite a sufficient amount, while Zenio is trying to take another hidden third right now when there's a drop of Kas at his at another base, so he might
still Zenio's,
Oh, I see,
Zenio's
yeah.
loading
Oh,
up some
this is going
overlords in his main. And he's up to 23 roaches that
He
can
is
do a
gonna
lot
be
of damage
scary
if he
with
hits
this.
Kas in
And
the
this
right
is a
place.
big drop. This is about 10 filled overlords with roaches and speedlings.
Wow, and Kas's army
He is killing the
is
third
not
now
in
with the
main
drop,
either. It's
but
all set
what
up
is he
to
going
defend.
to do about this drop in his main? Queens as well for
This
the
drop is
transfusers.
huge. I mean,
Almost like Dimaga,
that
man.
is so
Look at all the
clever.
SCVs. He's gonna get a lot of SCVs soon.
oh, and the banelings. The banelings, no.
It's quite a weird drop.
Oh, what is it? Oh my god, just carnage in Kas's face right now. Look at his supply just dropping.
Yeah,
He's down to about 70 odd now. He's
Yeah,
getting torn apart.
This is looking really grim for him, man. And the drops just don't get cleaned up. He's dropped a load of creep there as well, and the drop in his main is still going. There come the SCVs.
I can't wish to, yeah.
There goes the
Oh
main.
my lord, it's just carnage.
Maybe.
It's so cool watching the you don't normally see them.
Did it
Is
transfuse?
Zenio going to get out with
Yeah,
his
he is.
stuff or not?
Well, is he?
Wow, he's getting a Spire up now
man.
as well, so he's
that
ready
is
to
that is
follow up
actually
on this
looking pretty
aggression.
bad. Although Kas, like I said, did deny the third of Zenio, so he sort of limited it. It's 2 base versus 2 base now, which is not too bad for him if he rebuilds his main base. But he did lose a load, like a load of supply. I mean, 50 supply to 100 supply really isn't what you're going to be wanting to play at if you're if you're going to play a ZVT.
Yeah, that's definitely less than ideal. And look, Zenio's coming in with more stuff in the
Those
overlords.
roaches won't die either, so
He
it
just
might
won't
be
give up.
getting a nice flank here. Oh, there. Oh, banelings.
Kas needs to call the he needs to call the exterminators for those roaches. They are just pairing him a new one at the minute. But still, like you said, I mean, he is still on 2 bases. They're pretty well saturated. They're not fantastic, but
Getting a
he's
little
got
more health.
mules,
He's going to
and
probably
mules are
lose
good.
this upgrade though, his level 2 upgrade, which might be big. Well, he might not actually lose it. 25
Yeah,
HP. Is
down.
that going down? That is going
No,
down.
that's garbage.
Zenio taking his hit in third again, which is not so hidden anymore, you
Yeah,
could say.
yeah, that's out. No, it's pretty
He's gonna
obvious.
lose a load of overloads
now,
now,
isn't it?
though. He's got enough though, but
Yeah, he could have done better at the end
all
of
in
that
all,
drop,
Zenio
definitely.
did do a load of damage though, do not forget. I mean, this is not good for Kas. 60 supply to 112, 114 now.
Is he sending more overlords?
He just keeps flying
Jesus,
in and out.
Zenio, you madman! No, he's turning them around.
He doesn't know. He's like, oh, yes, no,
gonna
yes,
do
no.
Oh,
He's tweeting hot right now. What should I do?
he's gonna have to make up his mind.
This is a pretty... Nah, this is a pretty
No,
nice defense.
he's not gonna get in with
bunch
those.
of Marines.
Yeah, although still, he's 130
Yeah,
supply
and
to about 80 of Kas.
Spire must
He's
be
in a
up
really
now.
good position.
I'm just gonna search it. Yeah, fire is up.
Yeah, that's been up for a while. But look, I mean, he's finally got the 3rd base down as well, so...
And more
If you can maybe
overlord
get a 4th
drops.
and a
They get
5th going
spotted
pretty
though, and then
soon,
Vikings
Zenio's
chasing
gonna
them
be...
down. That could be big. He needs to drop some roaches now. Oh, if he gets this third by Kas is so open. He's getting a huge... This is gonna be a huge engagement right now for Kas's third, and it's...
But look at those Marines and the tanks. Tanks
Yeah,
and
I mean-
Marines. They're pretty good. Although, he really can't afford to lose any SCVs.
You
Oh,
want to
it's
guess
painful
the amount
to
of
watch the Kas.
workers killed that Zenio has? Yeah,
How many workers Zenio's killed? Without looking, I'm gonna say
60.
25.
Yeah.
60! Wow. Jesus Christ. Oh my god, he's dropping the main again as well. And he's got 7
flyer
mutants at that
attacks
spot.
upgrade
I'm not sure.
directly to go with it. He's got his third up
Oh,
now
this
with
is
the queen, with some
Kas.
drones. I mean, Kas is gonna need to do something big here.
I mean, he still hasn't... Oh, well. He's finally cleaned up the roaches in his main base. But wow, that. Although look at the supplies.
I honestly don't know.
I don't know how that's possible.
It's mainly down to his good marine. I would say mainly down to his good marine usage. He's getting a big drop now, big drop. But it gets spotted by mutas. There's a couple banelings there who get targeted down. Oh, tank. Oh, this might be his way to come back.
Siege tanks there. Is he gonna get the Spire?
Oh, that is good play.
Yeah, that Spire's going
really
down.
Good play
that Spire's post. This is because I guess he lost 60 workers. I guess
all his tech is going down now. Macro Hatch is going to go down.
Supply.
Spire is down. Roachborn is down.
Wow. This game just got a lot more interesting.
The thing is, Kas has got his main back up. He's got his third really decently saturated. It's not perfect, but it's pretty decent. And the same goes for his second. So he's gonna have a lot of minerals to work with. Although just looking at this, having Zenio's third is quite big as well. But he doesn't get the lair, but he gets pretty much every tech structure apart from the spawning pool. So I mean, this is pretty bad for Zenio. He needs to like pretty much get everything back now. He's rebuilding a Spire, which obviously takes ages. He's rebuilding a hatch, so nothing too shabby for Kas right there. And Zenio, the hatch he's making is another expansion because the main just has no more minerals. So it does turn out to be a pretty even game now. 3 base versus 3 base again. Well, for now 2 base versus 3 base, but
yeah. It's really weird how this has turned out. I mean, Kas looked like he was completely dead, but somehow Zenio's economy wasn't up to it. Had he not been building drones throughout the time, or not? Had he just gone too much on the pressure?
Kas in it was the fact that he denied the third 3 times. That's what saved him, because if it would have been a 2 base versus 3 base, plus the drops that pretty much destroyed everything, and the additional income, it would have just been downhill from there. It would have been snowball effect, where Kas would have had to get a lot of defensive units, and then Zenio would have just overpowered him, and just, you know, wave after wave, and eventually you can't hold it. Right now, Kas, his macro was really good, and he managed to keep most of his marines, which meant that most of the supply he lost was SCVs, which, although painful, is more replenishable, in my opinion.
And the good thing about these marines as well, these are pretty soon to be +3 marines, and they are pretty beefy. I mean,
no, he's a lot of banelings.
Oh wow,
good banelings.
Yeah, plus there's no drones there to kill because Zenio's mined out in his name. Oh, but wow, look at Zenio's mutable. I mean,
it's getting pretty
10
scary,
more
man.
Just popped, and he's got.
How many is that? That's 20.
Yeah, you would not want to be an SCV right now. Oh look, he's got a drop in the south as well. I think Kas is going to go wreck Zenio's 4th base.
Let's see. If he keeps denying these bases, that's really good for him, but all of Zenio's forces are now funneling towards that. Is he going to be able to get it down? Zenio just blocked off the marines with his probes, which meant the Zerglings couldn't engage. That's why he was able to get it down. That's pretty bad.
Oh, Zenio! Oh, what are you're killing me here? You were so far ahead. But still, he does have. Oh wait, I'm trying to do maths in my head here. I think it's 23 mutas in his big pack there. 26. Wow, you can tell I was bad at maths at school. You can do a lot of damage with 26 mutas as well, and he is making a beeline for Kas's marines. Why are you attacking the marines?
He didn't really lose anything though. Why is he engaging back though? That's pretty weird. Right. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like he should just be going for the SCVs, because if you look at Kas's 3rd base, only now is he getting a load of turrets there. It was completely undefended. He could have done so much.
Kas might be looking to take a gold
soon, He'd have been happy with that.
His 3rd is getting close to mined out, his main is close to mined out, and his natural is as good as mined out. So he's going to need to get something soon to keep up. I mean, he's keeping up really well. Look at supplies, it's 150 to 171. I mean, Alright, well that's probably going to be good for him, although he's doing some weird long distance mining right now. Probably shouldn't be doing that.
Still, I don't think he's gonna matter too much when he starts getting those mules on the gold base, because they're pretty crazy. I mean, he'll be a double Zenio supply, I reckon, not income.
Yeah,
even.
he's... Oh my... You're actually right. He's getting 2200 minerals a minute, whereas Zenio's getting 1200. He's double the gas as well, almost.
I promise you,
Perhaps
I wasn't
like,
cheating.
do
I
less
wasn't
math
looking at
and
the
just gamble
income
all the time when
myself.
you're good at it.
Not sure my girlfriend would be happy with that, but let's get back to the game. It looks like Zenio is trying to finally attack the worker line.
He's taking the gold as well, which is
might
pretty
be denied by
smart
Kaz.
move. He must have... Did he scout him taking the third? He doesn't know that Kaz took the gold, so... But he's taking his own gold, so...
Oh, and Kaz is... Oh, Kaz
yeah,
had
I see
a
it now.
drop, but
It
it
just
didn't really
quickly
do much in the bottom. Kaz is doing really good at keeping the pressure on
This
Zenio,
Marine just will not die, man. The
Zenio
health...
off and scouting and things like that.
Wow, he just killed like 6 Zerglings just standing there, and the damage that one Zergling does is almost the same as the damage that a dropship saves. So he was just killing Zerglings and they couldn't get him down. It was pretty funny to see. Then obviously the Muta pack came and was like, what up now? But...
Still, Zenio has almost got his hive ready, so he could be getting to that seriously scary Broodlord Ultraverse army.
I don't know.
Because he's got the Confessors there already.
He's got one Thor cast, so if he's going to fix a lot of Broodlords into his army, then Kaz might be in quite a bit of trouble. Oh, I don't think so.
Does Kaz have a Ghost Academy yet, or not? Yeah, he really needs Ghosts, because Ghosts just kill everything in the Zerg army. They're amazing. But still, I mean, look at that massive force of Zerglings Zenio has. Just on the mini-map, it looks incredible. Yeah, Kaz is posturing forward with his tank line as well. I hate the way he moves it. He always unsieges them all at the same time.
If he would have,
it really makes me nervous.
Them like properly. Oh, a big move now into Zenio's fourth. But I don't think, Kaz doesn't know about Zenio's gold. And Zenio, well, he must know about Kaz's gold by now, but he clears up the... Sorry?
Kaz's got a 5th now, hasn't he?
Oh, that's right, actually, so...
He's got a 5th base now, hasn't he?
Zenio, at that moment, takes his 5th as well, so...
Wow, he is
That's
going
really good game
crazy
sense by both of these players. I mean, Zenio obviously does not know about that, but he just, you know, goes with his gut, takes the gold almost the same time that Kaz takes it, takes his 5th base almost the same time that Kaz takes it. That's just really showing the, you know, the level that these players are at. Well,
and his mutas are about to wreck.
Well, that's a Thor there, actually. 2 Thors. Never mind. There's no SCVs here though, which is pretty worrying. If Zenio would just stream in his Zerglings right now, like when these tanks are unsieged, those Thors are gonna be like cake, and they're a really big investment that you don't want to make a lot of times in a game. Yeah,
looks like the first Broodlords are here as well, which is good. Production,
it's making one more. It's nothing too major yet, but I mean Zenio doesn't have the income for it. Because you look at Kaz, who's at 190, Zenio's at a 150 supply, and Kaz is just saving up now. He's got a load of gas, which means if he loses some tanks, it's not that big a deal. I mean, it's going to take a while to get them back, but I mean...
Yeah, he's really losing money, Zenio. He's leaking money, and he doesn't have the funds to
2 extra
replenish
bases
it.
up now, which might help, but it's not looking too good for him. His gold is well saturated though.
We'll have to see if he can keep them there, because that tank line of Kaz is really... His tank...
The Broodlords might be able to clean it up.
Just menacing though.
No, he has 2.
Does Kaz have any Vikings anywhere? I can't find any Vikings. 2. They're gonna get killed by Mutalist,
if he uses the Thor as well, then that might help out a bunch. He's got 19 Mutas now and 3 Broods. He needs more Broods. If he wants to win this, he needs more Broods. Big engagement now. All the tanks unsieged. Kaz, what are you doing?
He really does.
Oh man.
That was bad
man.
timing by Kas on
And-
that untube, definitely.
How does he manage? It must
Still,
be
look at the
upgrades.
supply.
These are 2-3.
He's-
Mutas are
he's-
only 1-0. That's big. Zerglings are only 2-0.
That is the story
Those
of this
Marines
game then.
are just a lot stronger.
Yeah, they're just chewing through everything with their superior.
The thing is,
upgrades.
if you have
it's
a lot
crazy
of
how much damage
Marines and
they'll do
medevacs as
when
well,
they're
they just do
upgraded
not die.
properly.
Like you can engage so many times, if you do not win it, you actually lose it by so much more. Because he doesn't lose anything, all he loses is some energy, which he really won't mind if he's not doing any like drop plays, which he's not really doing that much anymore. I mean, Zenio just...
He's getting more
the
command
income as
centers
well.
as
I'm
well.
just gonna say this: 40 drones to 90 SCVs in 7 mil. I mean,
Wow.
yeah, the
Plus,
gold is
if you
well
look at
saturated,
what
but
they're
that's pretty much
saturated on
it,
as
man.
well.
That's
Kas got way more mental.
yeah, it's not looking good for Zenio right now. I'm just gonna quickly check the income again, which is still almost double for Kas in minerals and triple in gas. Zenio needs to win something, and look at supply, 104 to 190.
Yeah.
Kas is gonna look to end this game pretty soon.
I mean, for a second there, Kas was able to build more Marines than Zenio could build
Thing is-
Zerglings at a time, which is mental. He has so many
Yeah, the
barracks
Zerglings
that
are
he's
2-2
got, like,
now, but
he's
he's got
going at a time.
virtually no
There's
effects.
no
He's
way
got
he-
2, which means no really good fungals for his banelings. Then his mutas are pretty much down to 0 right now. He's got 4 mutas, 1 brood, and 1 corruptor. He's just got his army composition is really off. He's got a load of Zerglings which are under-upgraded as compared to the Marines. And then he's got a couple of air units which really don't have any chance against the Thor. Oh yeah, there he goes.
And now he's losing his base
In
again.
come the Zerglings. He's not gonna get it, is he? Oh, that's a pretty good save,
gonna
but
save it.
still, there's no mining going on there right now. Nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
This big
I don't think
ball
it
with
even
the 2
matters if that
Thors and a
stays
couple
alive
of
at this
tanks.
stage.
If Kas, it's gonna come down to 1 engagement, and if Zenio doesn't win that by a big margin, which I find really unrealistic to expect, then that's going to be end, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean you have to look at the
Yeah, and
two
it's
big
bio
balls,
as well,
and Kas
and
has the bigger ball.
Zenio just doesn't have the gas. He's so gas starved. So gas. He's got this base up, right? And I mean, he's mineral starved, but he needs gas. He needs to build himself, like, you know, higher tech units, upgrades, mutas, banelings, stuff like that, and he just doesn't have anything to do.
And Zenio's gold. That's the last thing he needed to
This
lose.
is gonna be close.
That was the
GG
one
right
thing
now.
keeping
You're
him
gonna
in
call
this
it.
game, if anything was.
Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
Zenio. Love you.
Oh, you're calling it now.
But
How
that's
did
a
he
macro,
do that
man.
after that
He must have thought.
He
I don't.
was in
you know
the
what I'm
clear.
not quite sure of? If he knew that that third was up. If he didn't know that that third was up, he might have been like, oh, cool, he's got less income than me. I'm just going to try and kill him. And that's why he kept trying to do the drops and kept running into the Marines. And then, all the while, Kas was like not losing too much.
That's
pretty
true.
much winning his
Yeah.
engagements, really. And then, in the end, he managed to get the upgrade over Zenio. And once you get these upgrades up, you're just gonna lose even more engagements. Then he got out macroed by Kas, and I mean now it's just looking really bad for him.
Yeah, he's just losing more drones at the bottom. Does he even have any drones left
He's
alive?
I think he might have just been killing off
I can
some
see
drones.
one, but that's about it. Oh, he's getting his Zerglings to slay each other.
Kas, Max, Zenio, 80.
I guess that's a good way to GG.
Nah, that's not gonna happen. Another base down. Honestly, I understand. Here, look, manner scans. For everyone with epilepsy, look away now.
Mana's Zergling suicide.
He must just.
Yeah, this is game over.
Yeah,
I
I'm
guess.
not quite sure why he's killing these.
At least
Zerglings.
Zenio's giving us something to watch.
And Kas is just like running around with his tanks wherever he wants. He knows 60 supply to
And yeah.
200 now. We might as well just start talking about the game because this game is over. And well deserved as well, which
third
is
place with Kas then
what
at
we
IEM.
should really say. I mean,
Not bad.
Kas plays, we know he plays well, but he has been known to struggle at events or like offline tournaments, and I think he is definitely proving himself to be one of the bigger players out there right now. There is a GG, by the way. I mean, Kas just plays really, really smart. That's what it comes down to.
Yep, and this is the second big tournament in a row that he's proved that he plays smart. We've had this, we've had World Cyber Games. I don't think anyone can give him the online tag anymore because he's really been putting in the big results. Yeah.
I guess that pretty much concludes our talk about IEM. I mean, this game really proved that Kas is a force to be reckoned with now. It did also prove Zenio's worth, though. I mean, he really had that game in the bag. And he should have won it in the end. But, I mean, tough break for him, although for the fact that he came from pretty much nowhere, you could say. I mean, he did have a GSL Code S appearance, but going into this event, he was pretty much the unknown sort of player, and I think he really did prove that he's one of the big players as well, so...
yeah, hopefully everyone's enjoyed our video, I guess. Not bad for a first attempt.
Definitely, definitely, and we're gonna try and put up more coverage on the news, as well as more coverage on the YouTube channel, and big news is that we will start going to events and covering them on site, just like the 1.6 and CSS coverage, which is a really big deal. So we want to thank everyone for listening, and tune in to Cadred, perhaps watch our next video feature, and good night.